Hello, Wednesday, April 8th, Mid-Holy Week reflection time. Something a little different for today. Yesterday I was shopping at Raley's to buy bread for our group that will be feeding the hungry Friday afternoon. As you're likely aware, there are certain food items that are rationed here in California, bread being one of them. Just 2 loaves per purchase, I'm told. Well, I scored. There were many loaves to select from, and I got my 2. Here's the different twist, however. Since Monday, I have been wearing one of my disposable masks when I go out in public. I wrestled with the CDC's advice to wear a mask when you go out and finally decided I would abide by their regulations. So I grabbed one of my masks that I use in the wood shop, and I've worn it. It sits in the car for the times I get out. I walked through the Raley's on yesterday morning, and I saw many different styles of masks, included the all-coveted N95s. Now, to be honest, I wondered about those folks. Are they really medical personnel in disguise? Or are they the reason there's a limited supply and shortage of those needed masks? Or have those masks been used so often and so much that they're no longer valid and available or usable in the medical profession? I'll never know because I didn't stop to ask anyone. And I suspect that I should be giving those folks a little bit of the benefit of a doubt. Then there was the encounter with an acquaintance that I have. Now, we're not friends. We recognize each other from a variety of encounters, mostly in Raley's and mostly waiting for things. He knows that I'm a pastor and has stated that he assumes that means I'm very religious. I'm still trying to figure out what that means and where he falls on the religious spectrum. Our encounter went something like this. My acquaintance starts, "Hey, how are you doing?" Me, "I'm fine. How are you doing?" "Staying healthy and at least 6 feet away from everybody," as he backs up a little bit. "It's a little hard at home since they all want to be so close, you know." I understand that. Are you considered to be essential and thus working? Or are you part of the lucky ones that your employer says you should stay home on administrative leave? Yeah, I'm on leave. How about you? No, I head to the office almost daily and self-isolate there. Can't stand being home? Nothing to do? No, I just know that I work better when I'm not at home. You have to work? Doesn't God just take care of you? I chuckled and said, yes, God does take care of me, but I still want to earn the money the congregation pays me. Ah, well, if God takes care of you, then why are you wearing a mask? I would have thought you would be one of those who would trust God more. After all, isn't that what you religious folk are supposed to do? That's a really good question, I answered. I debated the mask advice, and honestly, I only started wearing it recently. But it's more of a love thing than a testing God thing. What? He answered. I decided that I would wear this when I go out, not because I don't trust God will take care of me, but rather because I don't want to be the one who somehow acquired COVID-19, and while it hasn't affected me, but then I give it to someone else, like you, and you get sick. I never thought of it that way. I just don't want to wear a mask. It causes my glasses to fog up, and it's uncomfortable. So you mean to tell me you're showing love by wearing a mask? Yes, I am. Well, that's just strange. And he walked off, and we headed in different directions. I was shortly thereafter standing at the deli counter, and one of the guys behind the counter asked me about the encounter. I overheard your conversation. You said you're wearing your mask as a sign of love? What does that mean, Pastor? I guess it's true what they say about Raley's. It's the place where everybody knows your job. I told him that I believe God calls us to love and care for all people. But during this time of high anxiety, fear, and worry, we have an obligation to love and care for those who are most vulnerable. even if they don't know they are. At that point, we were both looking around the area, around the deli and bakery, and saw 5 people who we felt fell in that vulnerable age range, myself included. See those folks? What if they caught COVID-19 because of you? How would you feel? I asked him. He answered, awful, but I'd stay home if I was sick. Good, I said, and you should. But what if you didn't know you were sick? You mean that asymptomatic thing? Exactly. I assume that because I feel fine, I'm okay. But what if? I don't think I'll get sick, honestly. I hardly ever do. But this is a strange time and a strange coronavirus. It got me thinking as I drove home for lunch and then back to the church office. I never thought a mask would open a door to talk about faith and trust in God. I never imagined wearing a mask in public would start a theological conversation. 2 of them, actually. Isn't it amazing where God takes us when we're willing to go? I'm looking forward to seeing you on Thursday night, Friday night, and again on Sunday as we celebrate the end of our Holy Week and Easter celebration. And before we get together tomorrow night, and every day remember these, please wash your hands, stay home if you are sick, love one another, practice social distancing, and of course, be careful out there. One last thing. I'd like to thank those of you who have sent a picture of yourself in so that we can fill up our church, and it's getting fuller. But it's not completely full. So if you haven't sent me a picture, please do so as soon as you can. I know that Joan tomorrow afternoon, before our service starts, will be going around taping people to chairs. Isn't that an interesting thought? You don't have to be in your Sunday best. I just want you to be in church with us. See you tomorrow night.